All right, sorry about that. I apologize. What is happening, everybody? Whoa. Why is that light wonky? Go. All right. That UFO seems awfully cramped. It's okay. It doesn't mind. I was a little cold. It's freaking chilly up here, actually, oddly enough. I gotta turn my lights on. Hold on. All right. The question is, will Ghislaine Maxwell, for those who are not sure what I'm referring to, will Ghislaine Maxwell talk? Now, obviously, I'm referring to this. This is the Daily Mail. Jeffrey Epstein's accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, is ready to reveal the truth about the pedo client list, says insiders. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Over under on her taking herself out. No one knows how to pronounce her name. I just say Ghislaine. It's not Ghislaine. That's too on the nose. Sorry. Maxwell, 63, the only person behind bars serving 20 years on child sex trafficking charges, despite the fact that pedo Jeffrey Epstein allegedly controlled a web of underage girls. Additionally, Epstein's victims alleged they were passed around as sex toys to his wealthy friends and billionaire business associates who regularly visited his homes, including his private island. See, like this right here, this part, I mean, so these victims, couldn't they say, like, all right, you can use whatever videos that you have of me with said person, you can go ahead and use that to prosecute that person. Don't you, like, how is that not a thing? I'm sure there's still victims that are alive, right? I know that one woman just recently killed herself suspiciously. Some say she was depressed because of things in her life, but I mean, who knows at this point? Now, a source said, despite the rumors, Ghislaine was never offered any kind of plea deal. She would be more than happy to sit before Congress and tell her story. I don't want her to get a plea deal, though. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want her to like get like out of this. You know what I mean? Like, okay, yeah, maybe you could get more sunshine or like a slightly bigger window while you're in prison. You know what I mean? But I don't want her to get out. Like, okay, you know what? Tell your story, and then we'll think about what, like, depending on what we get out of you. And then, of course, not give her anything. No one from the government has ever asked her to share what she knows. She remains the only person to be jailed in connection to Epstein and would welcome the chance to tell the American public the truth. I feel like there's more to that. This feels like her lawyer speaking. You know what I mean? When in reality, it's like she would welcome the chance to tell the American public the truth in exchange for leniency, you know, or some sort of a deal to get out or lower sentence or whatever, you know? What that truth is remains to be seen. Maxwell was convicted in 22 over her role in a scheme to sexually exploit and abuse multiple minor girls with Epstein over the course of a decade. This is not correct grammar, right? I think so. There she is with the famous Jeffrey Epstein. I don't trust either of them. That is a massive watch she's wearing. Jeez. All right, let's see. Maxwell argues she should be she should have been protected from prosecutors as part of a non-prosecution agreement made by Epstein, her former lover and boss, in 2007, when he agreed to plead guilty to 2 minor charges of prostitution in a sweetheart deal, which saw him spend little time behind bars. I don't know anything about that. And now controversy continues to rage over the Department of Justice's statement that there's no Epstein client list, and the release of videos from inside New York's Metropolitan Correctional Center, which the DOJ says proves he committed suicide in 2019 while being held in jail on sex trafficking charges. Well, we all know that there was that 1 minute missing, and because of that, it doesn't prove shit. It literally gives a big, huge hole in the video and says, no, this is it. It's not even his jail cell. It's of a hallway outside of his jail area. They could have opened it and another, they could have opened 2 doors and another inmate could have come from another cell. Like, I mean, there's too many holes in what they're claiming to be proof of him killing himself. So obviously it's ridiculous. Diana Francisco here actually just makes a really, this is what I was talking about. Why haven't the victims come forward right off? I feel like they have come forward, but for some reason, the government's like, no, we got to protect the victims from. It's like, look, hold on. I am not arguing for these videos to be put into public view, right? Nobody wants that. Or maybe some sick people out there want that. But no. Redact the shit out of the videos. Anything that could harm the victims, black out. Clearly, there are clientele on these videos. There's somebody in the videos that are victimizing the victims, right? Those are what we want. We want who those people are. You know, is it Prince Andrew? Is it Tom Hanks? You know, is it Oprah? P. Diddy? I mean, throw a freaking dart in Hollywood's direction. You're probably going to hit someone that went to that island that's in one of these videos. Critics have pointed to the fact that there is a crucial minute missing from the jailhouse video that also does not show the door or indeed the inside of Epstein's jail cell. Yes, exactly. Scandal, the alleged cover-up, has prompted a rebellion amongst President Trump's loyal MAGA base. This whole stupid thing. I'm still MAGA. I am. Make America great again? I believe that. It's grown beyond Trump. I voted for Trump. I did. I voted for Trump. But for him to come out and say, why do you care about this? Is so sus. It's the first time. It was the first time that I went, in all my support of Trump, it was the first time that I was like caught off guard and was like, all right, well, you are now giving me a reason to not trust you, Trump. Not that I like trusted him, like any politician. I don't know the man personally or anything, but like of the politicians, of the choices that were presented to me, you know, Trump was the way to go. And clearly he loves America. So it's, this was sus. Well, how can you not understand why people would want to know about Epstein? It's because his clientele are still in power. The people that were going to that island are out there. I'm going to hold on. There's a really important line here that was talking about Maxwell. And this says it all. Right there. The only person behind bars was his partner in crime in trafficking these women. Well, I'm assuming they were all girls. I actually don't know. Probably not. I'm assuming minors. We'll just do that, right? Trafficking these humans, the minors, to the island for the clientele. Well, who the fuck was the clientele? That's the whole thing that we want to know. I can't believe Trump is taking this and reaching out. According to the internet, he's reaching out to political right side leaning influencers and saying, hey, can you try to focus on something other than this whole Epstein thing? And it's like, dude, that's not going to work. That's only going to make it more sus. And then, of course, it's now come out, or the rumor of it, that he has now been pandering to these people, or trying to get these people to, hey, look over there. Maybe Epstein's not that important. Looking at you, let's see, who comes to mind? Ben Shapiro. Oh, look, I'm gonna stand with Donald Trump. They say that I start strong, and I'm just like, man. What happened with you and Mike Barra? What do you mean? Nothing. We're cool. Mike Barra and I are cool. Yeah, we're good. I don't know why people think that. How you doing, Lone Ranger? Good to see you. Let's see. Okay, here we go. So here. Some even believe Attorney General Pam Bondi should be fired after promising to release all files relating to Epstein as his high-profile male friends, only to apparently renege on that promise. So, okay, this here, Pam Bondi, she didn't say that she had the client list. The guy asked her if, and she responded in a way that, like, I understand what she was saying, but she handled it so freaking poorly. I wouldn't be surprised. Tactical. Wait, what did Tactical say? MI6 on that list? Oh, really? Interesting. Pam Bondi, I think she's out of her league. I think she didn't understand that, you know, she was traveling around doing all these news appearances, and how many people have actually forgotten portions of the client list and flight logs actually leaked back to Maxwell trials? Probably a lot of people. Oh, hell yeah, Lone Ranger. Good shit. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Just some very nice things to say. Appreciate you, buddy. Yeah. Bear and I are good. I've he was absolutely insulting my intelligence, but like I'm fine, you know. I just I'm not one to just sit back and just let it happen. I'm very outspoken. You might, for those who know me, and you know, it's fine. We had a heart-to-heart after the show. Anyway. On Saturday night, President Trump posted a rebuttal to accusations of a cover-up on social media site Truth Social, saying, for years it's Epstein, over and over and over again. Why are we not giving publicity to files written by Obama, crooked Hillary, Comey, Brennan, and the losers and criminals of the Biden administration? Well, why not do both? Like, can we have that as well? Can we also do that? The Epstein cover-up was also a main topic of conversation among attendees this weekend at the Student Action Summit in Tampa, Florida, hosted by the conservative group Turning Point USA, an organization many credit with rallying Trump's young base before last year's presidential election. Oh, they had a huge part of that, for sure. Sharon Allen, an attendee, told NBC News, it's not even about Pam Bondi to me. It's like, look, Trump, we elected you because you were supposed to be different. So you have to prove to us you're different. No, that's a stupid way of, no, he campaigned on it. It's not about being different. He literally said that he was going to release the files. And it's like, the files you gave us were a bunch of bullshit that were already public. People have already seen all of that shit. There's nothing new in any of that. No. We want the people that were on the list. And not a physical list. I don't want to play any semantic bullshit game with these people. Obviously, we're talking about the clientele. There doesn't have to be a physical list, but there was a clientele that he serviced people. The Epstein himself didn't fuck 1,000 minors on that island. Over 1,000 victims were named, according to the DOJ statement, saying that he killed himself. Oh, but there's over 1,000 victims. You're saying that Jeffrey Epstein was such a sleazebag. He went through 1,000 victims. And even though the victims that have come forward have said that they weren't, it wasn't Epstein, it was the wealthy and elites of the world, according to the victims. So Trump, how can he not understand that? It's the first time I'm going, was Elon right? Trump, are you on the list, dude? Did you do some shit with Epstein? Are those pictures of you friending him? Is he a leech, or were you actually together with him? I don't know. Look, I don't want it. I don't want this to be true. But for him to go, you guys are still talking about that? It's like, yeah, dude, what do you mean? What? How can you say that? Of course, we're going to keep talking about it until we get some justice for the victims and take the people that are in power, that were victimizing, that were actually going to that island, are brought to justice. That's the reason we're talking about it. In one interview pre-election, Trump did say he wasn't sure if he'd release it, but he did say he'd release the other ones. Okay, pretty sure I thought he was campaigning on the Epstein list being brought out. Didn't he say something along those lines? Because some of the victims were willing participants, even though they couldn't legally consent. That's why Prince Andrew isn't in prison yet. Huh. Look, they said they're sitting on over 300 gigs of video, which actually, in video, like, that's not that much. I mean, I have videos of me like drone shots and, like, I don't know, B-roll of my forest and biking videos, and, like, easily I have a terabyte of videos, of just, like, random, just nature shots, and I don't know, like, making my axe or my knife, or, like, just random stuff. It's like 300 gigs is actually a surprising little amount of video. But still, like, empty white binders, right? Yeah, the binders is bullshit too. That was all that was an appeasement. 10,000 hours at the island? Wow, really? 10,000 hours. That's a lot. That's a lot of time. That sounds like a hell of a lot more than 300 gigs. A hell of a lot. Lord of the Ree gifted 1 subscription over on Rumble. Hey, Ree, how you doing, sir? Good to see you. Lord of the Ree for 2 says, Adam, I got my first hater. He's been obsessively commenting on my X posts and YouTube videos and spurring out incoherently for over a month now. I consider it an accomplishment. Glad you like the song. Yeah, man. Yeah, really good recording. Solid work. I really need to get on that. Blackblade for 2 says, oh, what knife you have? Well, I don't have, it's actually in my studio, but I made a knife. It's just like I don't know, a bushcrafting style knife. I've made 2 knives so far. One was just this orange handled micarta knife. You guys, I showed it when I made it, and then I made a second knife that was for Nishra. I made it like a little tiny handled with a little brass cap on it. It's pretty nice. I was just practicing, So V6 Neon for 1 says Maxwell's new security guard looks a bit too much like Hillary. Oh, as they come in pairs, the other looks like Big Mike in a suit. Yeah, I've seen some good memes. I don't have any on hand. I should have, but it's okay. A source close to Maxwell told Daily Mail that the former girlfriend of Epstein, who continues to protest her innocence, she still claims her innocence. That's wow. Would welcome the chance to sit in front of Congress and tell her story. What are we waiting for? To be honest, though, like, in all seriousness, why hasn't this not? Why is this not, like, immediate? That, like, what is Congress doing? They're trying to do pork-filled bills that, they're blaming the Republicans on, like, not wanting the Epstein list out, but in reality, it's like a whole bunch of shit shoved in a bill that they know that they're gonna they're going to vote against, and then they're going to be like, look, the Republicans are again against releasing the Epstein stuff, and it's like these fucking games that they play. It's like, okay, how about you grab Ghislaine Maxwell and let her talk. Let's hear her talk. Okay, wait. So was this a part of that bill? Rejected Maxwell talking? Because like, if that's true, that is just absolutely proof that they don't work for the American public. Congress does not work for the American public if they denied Maxwell talking to them. That's just a simple fact. Let's see. The source said congressional hearings have been held into everything from JFK's assassination to 9/11. The Epstein's file rank up there with those cases. 100%. Absolutely. And it's more relevant now than either of those two things. Like, okay, yeah, 9/11. Yeah, obviously, there's that whole commission, like, well, I mean, that in itself is a whole other conspiracy. But, the JFK's assassination, but the Epstein stuff, these people that are they're still in power. There's still people that, like, CEOs, probably actors, freaking, government agents and presidents and prime ministers, and I'm sure there's anyone could be on this list. Central banking, sure, yeah, anybody. Ghislaine will be willing to speak before Congress and tell her story. Maxwell is also fighting to have her appeal heard by the Supreme Court on July 4th. Lawyers from the U.S. government will submit their response to her plea for the Supreme Court to take up her case. President Trump's former first buddy, Elon Musk, sensationally claimed that there is a cover-up because Trump is mentioned in the Epstein files, something sources close to Maxwell says is a false flag. Yeah, look, guys, look, if this is the thing about Trump, they hate him. Who's they? The Democrats, the Uniparty, probably a lot of Republicans too. Yeah, they can't stand him. You don't think that they would have used this knowledge to bring Trump down a long time ago? Of course they would have. Of course they would have. So Elon saying that Trump is like his name's in the Epstein files, and it's like, well, I mean, Epstein was a leech. He literally latched on to anyone rich and famous around him to try to build his influence, right? He was obviously a criminal, and that's kind of how he did things. So, I mean, Trump could have been I think he was on the flight, right? But it wasn't down to the island. It was like to New York or something, from New York or from Miami or somewhere like that, right? Like, who knows? I just I don't know. I feel like they would have brought him down if they were able to. President Trump was photographed with Epstein several times. They ran in the same circles, but Trump was one of the first to... No. Trump was the first to break contact, and he actually threw his money behind the investigation when it first started going. He was like, anything you need, let's do that. So, like, that's still true. Back in 2006 or something, like, in the aughts sometime when that was all happening and Trump heard about it, he was like, I'm down to freaking help, like, bring in there. All right, this is a good point. Why bring him down when you can control him? You started to think Trump was being blackmailed? I've got very little in defense of that. It could happen. It could be true. Smoke and mirrors, controlled opposition. It's like, I don't trust anybody in the government. I freaking hate it. I hate this. If Trump was mentioned anywhere in a bad way, they would have used it. I mean, that's where my head's at. But sleep is a cousin of death makes a good point. You know, why take him down if they can control him? But the same, they tried to kill him. You know, like dude, that what happened in Butler was not some lone wolf. Bullshit. There's no way. It was 100% supposed to work. Trump was supposed to be dead. He was supposed to be shot in the head in Butler, Pennsylvania a year ago. A year ago this weekend, right? It was like just passed. It was Iran somehow. Yeah. No, bullshit. It's this cabal, this shadow cabal that wants to run everything. A lot of great people have done terrible things. A lot of these things could be true at the same time. That's terrifying. That's the thing. We're all in the dark. But you know what would help like light is the best disinfectant, right? Sunlight. Release who's on the videos. Not the victims. Redact the victim. Someone had to watch that shit. They had like a list of a few different agencies that had to watch the videos. You're telling me none of those people said, "Oh shit, I know who that is." Like that's Prince Andrew right there, or that's Tom Hanks, or whoever the fuck else is on. I just know Tom Hanks and Prince Andrew. You know what I mean? I've used there as an example often, but yeah. Let's see. There are no big shocks about President Trump in the Epstein files, but there are a lot of powerful men involved and a lot of money, and it will come down to following the money. Of course, the Department of Justice has said no one else is likely to have to be prosecuted in relation to the Epstein case, including Britain's Prince Andrew, who was accused by Virginia Giuffre of allegedly sleeping with her when she was 17 and underage. Prince Andrew has consistently and vehemently denied all charges against him and settled a civil lawsuit with her with no admission of wrongdoing. Oh, that's the one who committed suicide earlier in the year. So, look, we're not going to hear from this woman. No way. Zero chance. We're not hearing from Ghislaine Maxwell. No, of course not. We need Nacho Business 100%. He would fit in perfectly today. There's zero chance that we're going to hear from Ghislaine Maxwell. Nope. Mm-mm. And if it goes through and it moves forward, like somehow she is going to be able to talk, she's going to kill herself. Just like Epstein did. Yep. That's how it's going to run. Lord of the Reef for 2 says, I don't think Trump is on the list. I think it's either someone so close to him, Kushner, question mark, or someone useful to him, and he doesn't want to burn the bridge yet. That's my steel man for what's going on. Well, that's what a lot of people have said also, that Trump has this information and is using it to get what he wants. But then, what is it? What's happening? Like, what is he getting? What's he doing that, like, he couldn't do without just on his own? You know what I mean? The Republicans in Congress, they ain't doing shit. Nothing's happening. I mean, it's moving. It's a fact that he was on the flight logs. Yes, I know. Right. But it wasn't to the island. It was from like Mar-a-Lago to New York or some shit. Something along those lines. Blackblade, you're out of here? Cheers, mate. I feel a sneeze coming. Woo! I caught it. Thank you. Trump backs Israel. Epstein was a Mossad operative. Well, we don't know that that's true, but we do know that I'm going to sneeze again. We do know that Ghislaine's father was a Mossad agent. So it's like, come on. You can take young girls anywhere with Epstein. Epstein proved that. Yeah, that's true. Look, if evidence comes out, that's the important part. If evidence comes out that Trump is dirty, then I'll be the first to stand up and be like, Trump's, we need some We need justice. There's a freaking moth in here. Did I get him? No. Um, the girls were on the planes. Do you know that for a fact? We don't know that for a fact. It's like they have videos of these victims. Now, I don't want to see I don't want to see these videos. I'm sure they're incredibly hard to watch, but someone has watched them in the Department of Justice. Tim Dillon's most recent episode summarizes it really well. I haven't seen it. I'll have to check that out. Well, I don't think we're gonna see it. That's where my head's at. I don't think we're gonna listen to her. We're not gonna hear from her at all. We have proof, but we don't have proof. Yeah, exactly. Basically, nailed it. All right, let's shift gears. All right, it's time for the daily debrief. Boom! I'm gonna have a stinger eventually. Okay, daily debrief. Let's check it out. What do we got here? The secret might be here on our own planet. This NASA scientist is on a mission to find out what aliens look like. Oh, well, I can tell you that that's on the thermal vents. Those are the iron snails. This looks like down by the thermal vents because they don't need energy from the sun. They survive off energy from Earth, which is awesome. It proves that you don't need sunlight to live. In fact, there's multiple places on the planet that actually show this. There is, well, this, what I assume this is an undersea thermal vent. There's also Lake Vostok. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this. It's the world's largest lake, but it's underground. Well, technically, it's under ice. It's in Antarctica. But Russians, I don't remember exactly when, it was like 20 years ago or something, they drilled down into it and they found life and an entire ecosystem. And it's fascinating. So let's see what this NASA scientist has to say. NASA has tasked University of Massachusetts Amherst scientist James Holden, who studies organisms living in extreme environments, with trying to figure out what aliens probably look like. According to a statement announcing the award, the Amherst microbiologist believes organisms that live at the bottom of Earth's oceans could offer a starting point for his work, since the habitat of these extremophiles may be substantially similar to the oceans scientists believe exist beneath some of the solar system's icy moons, like Europa or Enceladus. This is exactly what I was thinking. Yep. All right. I'm just gonna keep reading because I'm fascinated here. We think, based on our own planet, that Europa may have conditions that can support life, Holden said. Volcanic vents could offer clues to what aliens probably look like. Since the dawn of the space program, NASA and other scientific organizations have been searching for signs of life beyond Earth. While several people have made claims of experiences with humanoid aliens of all sizes and shapes, Zorbu, traveling here from distant solar systems, sometimes even crashing, there is still no publicly available proof confirming that what aliens probably look like, or the existence of extraterrestrial life in any form. And you know what? Because of the advent of AI and how good AI has become, even if a video pops around like we have actual evidence, no one's going to believe it. Everyone's just going to think it's AI, including myself. I've seen some really good AI videos. It's just incredible. I'm going to have to see it with my own eyes, like in reality. Evidence of possible microbial alien life dates back to the 1970s Mars Viking missions, which may or may not have discovered signs of life on in the Martian soil. Well, we have found fossils, though, right? In Martian fossils. Additional, well, actually, can I click on this? Did we find life on Mars in 1976? Yuri Gagarin, first human in space. I want a dog named Yuri and then name it after him. And then I want a cat named what was the first dog? Laika? Right? Laika? I like that name, Laika. Laika. I think that's a cool cat name. A dog named Yuri and a cat named Laika. Even though Laika was the first dog in space, and Yuri was the first human in space. Anyway, I am so sidetracked. I'm just going to keep reading this article. Additional claims have surfaced in the decades since. However, the claims of anthropomorphic alien visitors, these signs and other possible evidence have remained inconclusive. I mean, I think squid and octopus are absolutely aliens. Laika died painfully. Dude, it's so sad. The story of Laika. I'm just, it's so sad. In recent decades, scientists have increasingly focused their search for less complex life beyond Earth in our cosmic background. This is such a shame when I read this stuff because I know about panspermia. You know, you may have watched my interview with George Howard, and he works with scientists that have proven that there is life just straight up floating around in space. It's all around us out there. And the Chinese space station just a month ago, or maybe 2 months ago, uh, they found all sorts of life on the space station, and they're like, we don't recognize this bacteria. That means it's not from Earth. They don't know what this bacteria is, but somehow it's on the outside of their space station, panspermia. So we know, like it's literally in our cosmic backyard. It's in our it's in the air all around us. Anyway, more specifically, microbiologists like Holden, who study organisms living on our planet's most extreme environments, have suggested that the first discovery of alien life could be relatively similar to these hardy life forms. Well, of course, that's that seems so silly to say. Like, well, duh. I mean, tardigrades, they can survive in space. There are animals that freeze solid and come back to life as soon as it gets warm. These things exist. There's animals that survive by like living at the hottest spot at the bottom of the ocean. So like the pressure of the water, the weight of the water at the bottom of the ocean is insane. Scientists have yet to send a probe into the subsurface ocean beneath Europa's ice shell to search for these types of life forms. Still, Holden notes there are a lot of evidence to suggest that Europa's hidden ocean contains volcanic vents on the seafloor that release hot water caused by a gravitational tug of its host planet. On Earth, these types of vents are surrounded by life forms that exist without sunlight, but instead survive and thrive on the hot gases and minerals released by these vents. Holden suggests the conditions on Jupiter's icy moon, which will get an up-close look by NASA's upcoming Europa Clipper mission. Let me just click on that. No. Okay, hold on. Maybe similar, affecting what any ocean-dwelling European aliens probably look like. We think the European life, if it exists, should look something like our own hydrothermal microbes. 100%. That's exactly what I think. If European life forms do exist, Holden says that trying to determine what these aliens probably look like before sending a probe to collect them begins with collecting and examining samples of the extreme organisms from the ocean floor and studying them in a lab. Since he has been doing this for decades, NASA also believed he was the right person for the job. The problem isn't going to Europa and even taking a peek into the ocean. It's getting to the bottom of the ocean to check to see if there's things thriving. Have you ever jumped into an ocean? Like when you're out in the ocean, you don't see anything. It's just water and it just disappears. There could be anything. Nisha told me the story about she lived on a boat in the South Pacific for when she was younger, for a long time, and she was a scuba diving instructor. And she told me this time where she and a few people jumped down, and they were at a reef, and they were like, let's see how far we can go out, because the ground just went down, 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 right? So they just went out, and it got to the point where they couldn't see the island anymore, and it was just blue in every single direction. And she was pretty far down, so it really felt like she was in like an abyss. And I'm like, that scares the shit out of me, because like something could, you can't see, like I can't, it could be a huge giant shark or something outside of your range of vision. I don't know. There's freaky shit like dark water, lakes. I don't know. Something about not being able to see freaks me out a little bit. Um, but also you can get lost there. But like, man, that's what we would see. We poke down into the ocean, turn a light on. There's gonna be nothing, or an eyeball, which would be equally awesome. It would be awesome. I mean, all right, I've been looking at deep sea volcanoes since 1988. Wow, this Holden guy. All right. To get our microbes from them, we use submarines, sometimes human occupied, sometimes robotic, to dive a mile below the surface. Oh, it's only a mile down. Okay, that's not as deep as I thought. And bring the samples ashore and back into my lab at UMass Amherst. To simulate the microbes' extreme environment, Holden built them a specialized, lightless, oxygenless habitat. This facility, well, yeah, but how are you going to add the pressure of being a mile down? That's 1 mile of water on top of you. That's ridiculous. This facility allows the Amherst microbiologist and his team to examine what these Earth aliens look like, how they metabolize energy, and how they use the resources in their environment. In his decades since studying these organisms, Holden has learned that volcanic vent extremophiles get their energy by breaking down hydrogen with specialized enzymes called hydrogenases. Hydrogenesis? Hydro hydrogenasis. I'm going to go with that one. He also found that different types of hydrogenasis work in various ways, meaning they could perform entirely different functions depending on the cell type. Fascinating. Because of these differences, Holden suggests that what aliens probably look like could be directly connected to these hydrogenases they rely on for energy metabolism. Our research will determine how the different chemical processes contribute to an organism's physiology. Well, these are drastically different here. The different physiologies of volcanic vent extremophiles. Okay, so this is 4 different entities or life forms, obviously at a microscopic level, 500 nanometers. That is very small. Holy shit. Okay. For example, the researcher notes that even though carbon, sulfur, and iron emitted by Earth's volcanic vents are all adept at joining by hydrogen by accepting its electrons to generate energy, science is still unsure how these processes occur biologically, especially as the amounts of hydrogen vary. The work to determine potential alien physiology is further complicated by the difference between Earth's ocean and subsurface ocean of Europa, which could also affect what these microbial aliens probably look like. Well, we also don't know how deep the ocean is. We also don't know if there is, in fact, undersea vents, but we think because when Voyager flew by, we saw geysers. So there's pressure from below that's pushing and creating these geysers, right? I think I thought it was Enceladus. Maybe it was Europa that had the geysers. Holden believes that. Wait, did I just read that? No. Holden believes that by figuring how chemical processes on Earth shape these microbes and the different chemistry life forms on Europa's sea floor used to thrive, we could create very different kinds of microbes. If successful, his work could help solve one of the biggest mysteries in science. Are we alone? You know, one thing that, okay, even if we were able to just get there and poke our head down, what we could do is get the composition of the type of liquid. We don't know if it's water. We don't know what kind of liquid this ocean is, right? What if it's like liquid methane or who knows, but it is water. If it is water, that is going to be incredible because then the transfer between what the research he's doing and what they might actually find may be a lot closer. So he might actually be more on target with what he thinks these alien are going to look like. We have long had a basic interest in knowing if there is life beyond our planet and how that life would function. It's exciting to think that the answer to the secret might be here on our own planet. I've been saying this for a long time. I straight up have. You guys know I've talked about the underthermal vents, and I'm not a microbiologist, but like it's so obvious. It's like duh. But it's cool that they actually have a microbiologist that has been studying this exact thing on our planet, and they're like, all right, here, use what you know to try to like give us, some sort of a picture as to what we may find when we finally get to Europa, which it's going to happen soon. I mean, we got reusable rockets. We've got companies that are working on making 3D printers in space that they're going to start mining asteroids, and it's not to bring it back to Earth. It's to keep out there and use those resources to build ships for us to just get in. We'll dock on this newly 3D printed ship. Boom, there's your ship. What was the movie that they were saved by deep ocean beings? No, it wasn't Sphere. Ed Harris was in it. What's the one with Ed Harris? Not 20,000 Leagues. No, what the heck? The Abyss. That sounds right. Right, and then it lifts them out. No, not Waterworld. No, it wasn't Contact. No, Contact's not about the ocean. I think The Abyss is right. Abyss? Yeah, we got multiple people saying Abyss. I think that's it. Wait, it's going to bug me. I just want to IMDb The Abyss. If I see Ed Harris's face, I'm going to be like, yep. Whoa, this is like a new Abyss? What? 2023? No, not the... What the... 1989. There we go. All right, who... Why... User reviews? No, I don't want user reviews. Ed Harris. Boom. And the girl who played Maid Marian from the Robin Hood movie. I don't even know her name. Yeah, this is the movie. Man, I haven't seen this movie in a long time. Oh, no way! Is James Cameron, really? James Cameron. Look at that. He is obsessed with the ocean. Waterworld, great movie. Love it. Mastrantonio. Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio. I had such a crush on her. Holy cow. There's a few girls that I had a crush on. All right. It was her. It was Stargate, the girl who played Shouty, whatever. I don't know who that was. I don't think she was in anything else. And then the girl in Indiana Jones, the Indiana Jones movies. Those are babes. Oh. Yep. There you go. Yep. Something about like big eyes and big beautiful eyes. And so I married a girl with big beautiful eyes. Yeah. James Cameron's ancient history documentaries are way better than his movies. Interesting, Mark. I don't even know about his docs. I'm just gonna click on James Cameron. Known for, oh my gosh, he's got a lot of freaking. Oh, he did Terminator Genesis. That movie was horrible. Holy crap. Oh, he did Terminator. God, that movie was so good. Number 1. Terminator 2, also really good. True Lies. Holy shit, I love True Lies. Oh my goodness. Terminator. Why is there so many video games? Holy shit. What is all this stuff? Oh, he did Rambo? Oh no, it's a video game. What is this? I just want movies. Writer. Okay. This is all his see, producing. Did he produce videos? Or not? He's not going to produce video games. Okay, here we go. Point Break. Oh shit. Okay. Terminator. Oh, he didn't do the first Terminator. He did Terminator 2. True Lies. Titanic. I've never seen Titanic. That's right. I've never seen it. Never seen Titanic. I've seen True Lies a bunch of times. Love that movie. Dana, jump! Volcanoes of the Deep Sea. Okay, that sounds like one of the videos that Mark's talking about. Oh, this is cool. A deep sea mechanized probe makes a voyage some 12,000 feet underwater to explore the Azores. Cool. A constantly erupting volcanic rift between Europe and North America. Oh, this is cool. Yeah, I want to see that. Aliens of the Deep. This could be a documentary also? No, maybe not. Yeah, it is. Mid-Ocean Ridge. Okay. Dope. I haven't seen these, man. Awesome. Last Mysteries of the Titanic. Not surprising that he loves underwater stuff, you know, because he went. Didn't he do? Which is the one where he went down to the bottom of the trench. I know he did. Which one is it? I don't remember. He had a vision of Terminator in his sleep. Really? Is that how he did it? Titanic is a great movie. Is it? I'll never watch it. I'd rather be able to say for the rest of my life I've never seen it. That's kind of why I'll never play Fortnite. I can't believe I'm about to say this. Unless my son wants me to play with him. I'm going to try my best to steer him away from video games in general. But I know it's only a matter of time before he finds my Game Boy, Switch, Steam Deck, PlayStation 4, PlayStation, like, you know, I've been a gamer for so long. I have street skate decks everywhere and I've got video game stuff everywhere. And it's only a matter of time before he opens a drawer and sees my VR set and he's like, "Oh, what is this?" Wait, what do you mean stubborn, Ashley? What are you trying to say? Wait, I'm stubborn or he's gonna be stubborn? Shit. Probably. I've had a crush on Zoe Deschanel for almost 2 decades. Dude, she's a cutie. Yeah. I believe it. He better beat Final Fantasy Tactics by age 2. Both for sure, 100%. I am absolutely stubborn, without a doubt. Titanic is great for women and hard to watch for men. I've never had any interest in that movie. Like, zero interest. I don't know. I don't understand, like, why people are like want to watch it. I just all I could think of is Jekyll's Island. I'm like, oh yeah, there was a bunch of people on there that were gonna vote against the whole freaking Federal Reserve, the creation of the Federal Reserve. Boys who like Zoe Deschanel are big red flags. Oh, stop it. Why? That's ridiculous. What about Jennifer Connelly? Yeah, I thought she was really cute in that. What movie was it called? What was the name of that movie? The drug movie. Uh, Fear. No, what the heck is that called? Jared Leto, Jennifer Connelly. Help me out, chat. It's been a long time since I've seen this movie. No, not Blow. That's Johnny Depp. That was a good movie, actually. Requiem for a Dream. Thank you, Jeremy. That's it. I couldn't think of it. Yeah. 30 Seconds to Mars. Dude, good band. Jared Leto is a freaking talented guy. Yeah. Yeah, Requiem for a Dream. It's a freaking sad movie. That movie is so sad. Holy crap. What a roller coaster ride of a movie. Man. There's some hard scenes in that movie. Some freaking hard scenes to watch. Holy cow. Yeah. All right. Guys, I love you. I really do. You guys are awesome. Thanks for hanging out with me. You know, I keep it at about an hour. It's been an hour. I just wanted to talk about the Ghislaine thing. I was thinking maybe Final Fantasy, but nah. I think tomorrow I'll play it though and just do a full episode. Um, I did make a so I think it's late enough. I don't think Nisha's gonna watch this episode, but so I've been organizing all my magic cards because I'm gonna sell a bunch of my magic cards. Just because like I don't really play, although the Final Fantasy I did buy some Final Fantasy stuff. Excuse me. You guys bought me some Final Fantasy stuff, and you know, we lost our beloved cat Osiris earlier in the year, and I have a commander deck that's based on a cat. It's a cat, you know, cat creatures and whatnot. And the commander is called Arabo. So he's a cat commander. He's really good. All right, so you can see here Arabo. He's just like really good. You don't have to play him. He can just sit in the command zone and it's so good. So what I did was here's an actual picture of our cat. He's sitting by our lake. So I changed the name. It's Osiris Zen Master. And then because you don't actually have to cast him, he's truly the Zen Master. He's just chilling in the command zone. So I made her a custom card, and I got her custom sleeves. So I don't have them yet, but I have this really beautiful image of just the side of his face, and he's sleeping. But like you could see all of his whiskers, like all of the hair on his face. It's just a really clean picture. So I got her 100 sleeves with his face on it, and I'm gonna give her the cat deck as you know, it's a really good deck. It's solid, and you know, I have way too many decks, and so she's gonna have it's gonna be like bittersweet, obviously at first, but I don't know. I think it'll be nice. She can have the cat deck with Osiris. Will always be with her, the Zen Master. Anyway, that's what I was doing earlier today. So yeah, Johnny's in there. Yeah, he's in there. Anyway, guys, thank you very much. You guys are the best. Thanks for your support. I'll see you tomorrow here on the Crigler Show. Peace.